from the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast.
Coming up on AgDay, farm exports and cattle markets. What's behind the recent sale barn strength in agribusiness kicking off the holiday season?
There's an old adage that if the bears get turkey for Thanksgiving, the bulls get it for Christmas.
Machinery Pete says there's more equipment auctions. What does that mean for prices? And charity on canvas, painting for others in Tennessee.
AgDay, presented by the Chevy Silverado. High-strength steel for high-strength dependability.
Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Even as NAFTA trade negotiations continue, USDA says ag exports finished the 2017 fiscal year in the black, topping $140 billion. That's the third highest level on record. Now, much of that growth coming from sales of bulk commodities. Exports setting a volume record of nearly 160 million metric tons. That's up 11% on the year. Those gains led by record soybean exports of 60 million metric tons. Shipments of corn, wheat, and cotton were also higher, with the value of cotton exports surging a staggering 70%. The grain sorghum industry says with fewer acres, strong exports have been an issue.
Well, we're short, frankly. We've seen probably a 30-40 cent basis increase across the entire sorghum belt in the last 3-4 weeks. I think at Corpus Christi at the Gulf this week, about 122-123% the value of corn. International demand continues to be very, very strong there. Demand domestically from our ethanol industry as they fight to keep those bushels from moving to the export market has really helped that competition as well.
USDA says exports are responsible for 20% of U.S. farm income and support more than 1 million American jobs, both on and off the farm. Now on the livestock side, dairy, beef, and pork exports were up double digits as well. Beef shipments leading the way in terms of value, up 16% to $7.1 billion. Despite building numbers in the nation's cattle herd, cash prices for fed and feeder cattle have exceeded expectations this fall. Live and feeder cattle futures pushing to a new contract high to start November. And even with the recent pullback, the deferred contracts still look positive going into 2018. And some analysts have attributed that recent strength to the extremely long positions held by the funds, while others say it's a rally in the stock market. However, as Michelle Rook reports, there are other underlying factors.
The cattle market has been surprisingly strong this fall, especially for calves. And after a tough year in 2016, that's leaving cattle producers optimistic about the future. In fact, cow-calf producers say calf prices have been running substantially higher than last fall.
Oh, you have calf prices now that are probably 20 to 40, some even cases $50 a hundredweight higher than last year in some of them light cattle. So it's a significant jump.
Surprising, these calves are bringing $200 to $300 more a head this year than they did last year.
Driving the higher calf and yearling prices has been strong demand by feedlots with good profits the first part of 2017.
There was some instances of $500 to $600 head profits, and some of your strict hedgers were maybe down in that $200 to $250.
The demand has also been tied to strong packer margins and cheap feed prices.
The only way to really try to get 3.25 half of this corn is going to have to try to feed it, and that in turn has created quite a bit of demand for these calves.
It also helps that cattle producers have stayed current.
Placements have been a lot higher, and I understand that. But if you look at numbers for numbers, the marketings have been very close, and that's really encouraging.
The biggest surprise, though, has been the strength of the cattle market in the face of increasing herd numbers, and that's likely the function of consumer demand.
Our numbers are higher, according to reports, are higher than they were a year ago, and tonnage is up, but the demand, they seem to be able to sell the products.
You know, I think demand has helped up our export market. It's definitely helped us a lot.
So that's leaving many in the industry optimistic about the cattle market ahead.
I'm pretty positive. I hate to be too bullish on things, but I know last year how the spring got. It doesn't mean it's going to get that good again this spring, but it sure feels good.
Yet most cattle producers say they'd be happy with steady prices because that would provide a chance for everyone in the beef chain to make a profit.
We had a high in 14, and that was maybe unrealistic, but we seen the low last year, so maybe it'll bounce back in somewhere in between and where everybody can make a few dollars.
In South Dakota, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgDay.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Monsanto asking an Arkansas judge to halt the state's plan to ban dicamba. The company asking a Pulaski County judge Friday to strike down the dicamba ban approved earlier this month by the state plant board. The board voted to prohibit the use of the weed killer in the state from April 16th through October 31st. Now, that ban is expected to go before lawmakers next month. The company added the request to a lawsuit it filed last month challenging a previous ban of its dicamba products. Let's check on conditions around the country. For that, meteorologist Mike Hoffman has some more in today's crop comments. Mike?
Good morning, Clinton. Our first crop comment comes from southeastern South Dakota. This farmer says he's taking some time to wean calves after a busy, delayed harvest. USDA says 82% of corn is harvested in the state, 8 points behind the 5-year average. Another report will be released this afternoon. Our next picture comes from Matt Nelson in Burt County, Nebraska. He says the cows always enjoy it when he lets them out in the corn stalks. Matt says that's one more thing checked off his list for this fall. And taking a look at the estimated rain this past week, not a lot across the lower 48. We'll show you what's coming as we head through this week and the next 30 days. Coming up with my forecast. First, here are some hometown temps.
Farm Journal On Air is the go-to app for American agriculture. AgDay, AgriTalk, U.S. Farm Report, and more. 24/7 access to all of your favorite shows, TV and radio. In your hands, on demand. Farm Journal On Air. Download the app today.
When we come back, our analysts are in the house, and we'll get you ready for the Thanksgiving week from a market's perspective.
Has the increase in the number of machinery auctions begun to affect used values? Stay tuned and we'll talk about it.
And if you're like me, you only paint when absolutely necessary. Later, meet some kids who are painting with a purpose.
Unlock the power of ag technology this December in Indianapolis at the first ever Ag Tech Expo. Learn all about it at farmjournalagtech.com.
The next time you take your 18-wheeler with a load of grain to the elevator, imagine driving this. Tesla just unveiling its new electric semi-tractor trailer. CEO Elon Musk says the truck is capable of traveling 500 miles on an electric charge with a full 80,000-pound load. He says it will cost less than a diesel semi when you factor in fuel savings and lower maintenance. Musk said consumers and customers can put down a $5,000 deposit now, and production will begin in 2019. Here at the Agribusiness Desk, we have Dan Huber, the Huber Report, and Joe Vaklovic with Standard Grain. All right, gentlemen, we're in a holiday week, kind of officially kicking off the holidays. Dan, why don't you start by, what does this mean for our grain markets as we move through the last part of this year?
Well, as unlikely as it may sound that we could actually become quieter, that is possible. I mean, volume generally tends to drift off during the holidays between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That said, there's an old adage that if the Bears get turkey for Thanksgiving, the Bulls get it for Christmas. So okay. I do think there is a reasonable probability we could see a nice short covering rally between now and the end of the year. If nothing else, because we have such a massive short position by the managed money, they might want to take that money off the table and buy some New Year's gifts.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe? Same thing?
Yeah, I think money flow is a big issue at year's end. I feel like every year in one market or another we see some big moves just because of an overloaded fund position in one market or the other. I could say that in the grains, for instance, the funds are overloaded short corn and short Chicago wheat, maybe to a little lesser extent. So is a short covering rally guaranteed? No, but it's a possibility, okay. Certainly between now and year's end, I think.
Real quick, on the livestock side, do we expect anything with this seasonal meat demand between now and the end of the year?
Well, I think any demand that would have been there has already been taking place. I mean, as far as if somebody's buying their tenderloin for Christmas, that's already happened. That's already gone through the wholesale. That said, we've had both cattle and hogs in a bit of a retracement mode over the last 2 weeks here after a nice rally. I think that should stabilize, and ideally we're going to be talking about better exports and maybe finally China stepping up to the plate a little bit more on the beef, but it's not a negative outlook, at least, I guess you'd say.
Do you agree with him?
Yeah, overall, cattle market especially, I mean, we've had a little setback, but I think that there's still a lot of kind of friendly undertones maybe nearby.
Okay.
I know that numbers are getting bigger year over year, but it seems like the export demand has helped. Market's trended higher. And the thing I like about it the most maybe is that the funds just continue to hold a big long position and they keep adding to it. And that's all it takes sometimes to run a market one way or the other.
All right, so Lot to watch between now and the end of the year. A lot of holiday left to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Happy Thanksgiving to both of you.
Same to you.
We'll
Thanks.
be back with more AgDay in just a minute.
For a free trial of Dan's newsletter, visit thehuberreport.com or call toll-free at 888-926-0985. For more information about Standard Grain and its services, call Joe at 312-462-4438.
Receive a free trial of the Daily Grain Plan newsletter from Roach Ag Marketing. Text Roach to 31313. Start your subscription today by texting Roach to 31313.
Welcome back to AgDay. Our meteorologist Mike Hoffman looking at rainfall over the last week or so, and really isn't nothing real impressive here, Mike.
No, there isn't. I know that, this past weekend we got a lot in the Great Lakes, but that's not counted in this map. This is from a week ago Saturday through this past Friday. But you can see from the southeast to the southern plains, Four Corner region, all the way up through most of the plain states, just not a lot of moisture. The heaviest amounts were actually out west. You can see some of the pockets of moisture near Salt Lake City and also in the Sierra Nevadas. Now, a lot of this is areas that got the snow, and it melts down to this amount of moisture is what we're looking at. But boy, lots of it, Portland, Seattle area, western portions of Washington. That's where the majority of the rain has been over the past week or so. Drought monitor then, you can see we continue to get a little worse from St. Louis now, all the way down to Little Rock to Texarkana. And that area is showing up as severe drought, a pretty large area. But let's go back a month. Actually, we're not going back a month. We're going to look at the jet stream as we head through this coming week because we're trying to look ahead here. Lots of activity going on. This is the storm system that came through the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley over the weekend. It's now moving away from the northeast. Shot of cold air behind it, but then it goes zonal again, so things start to warm up. As we head through the middle of this week, another trough kind of digs in for Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Another shot of colder air coming into the northern plains, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley into the northeast, so that means fairly mild weather out west. And as we head through this holiday weekend, you can see by Friday, the first trough kind of letting up a little bit, another trough digging in. And so basically we're looking at a trough in the east, ridge out west, but lots of changes as we go through time. But that's the basics, which means cold east and warm west. And that's what I'm going for this coming week. From East Texas all the way up through the Mississippi Valley and to the East Coast. Below normal temperatures expected, near normal for the main part of Florida and near normal for northeast Maine into northeastern Canada. Actually, parts of Canada might be above normal there as well. Above normal out west, all of the Rockies westward. Precipitation this week. Most of the country once again below normal. Florida above normal and also in the northwestern portions of the country. 30-day outlook for temperatures below normal from the Ohio Valley through the Great Lakes, most of southern Canada and along the Canadian border, above normal Four Corner region in California. 30-day outlook for precipitation. The growing regions, I'm going near normal in most of that area, but the southeast, southern plains, below normal and above normal in the northwest. That's a look across the country. Now let's take a look at some local forecasts. First of all, for Globe, Arizona, lots of sunshine and comfortable today, high of 71 degrees. Vandalia, Illinois, partly sunny and a bit milder, high of 54. And Greenfield, Massachusetts, mostly cloudy, breezy and chilly, afternoon high of 38.
All right, thanks, Mike. Coming up Thursday, we hope you join us for our annual salute to America's farmers, ranchers, and growers. Harvest of Thanks airs on Thanksgiving morning. Between wildfires, floods, and hurricanes, it's been an extraordinarily tough year on Americans. Despite the challenges, producers seem to persevere and to give thanks. We'll share some of those stories Thursday on Harvest of Thanks. Well, up next, Machinery Pete says auction numbers are rising. We'll tell you what it means for equipment prices. That's coming up. And you may not be the handiest artist with a brush, but there's more to this artwork than just creativity. It's community. We'll explain when we head in the country.
Shop Machinery Pete's Cyber Sale from November 27th to December 4th. Find special reduced price deals on all types of equipment from dealerships across the country. Make a purchase and receive extra holiday cash. Visit www.machinerypete.com/sale. Machinery Pete is brought to you by John Deere. Where can you find the most comprehensive inventory of John Deere certified pre-owned tractors, combines, and sprayers? Machinefinder.com. Sometimes the best new addition to your fleet isn't new.
Machinery Pete is seeing a big increase in the number of machinery auctions around the country, and so far, used values have been holding. But Pete says quality is key.
Well, used farm machinery values have found footing the last 2 years. I guess you could say the market has kind of found a soft bottom. And you can see that represented here in our quarterly Machine Repeat Used Values Index. And you can look back to the end of 2015 and again see that used values basically have flatlined. Now yes, they did fall quite a bit back in 13, 14, 15, but last 2 years kind of leveled off. Now one factor I'm really watching closely going forward to see if it will affect used values is this big increase we're seeing in the number of machinery auctions coming through the end of 2017 into early 2018. But the last 18 months or so, one trend that's held true despite this increase is that if a piece of equipment is in a really good condition, the buyer demand is there. And we saw proof of that on a pair of farm auctions in central Illinois last Thursday. Now, Mike Moskey Auction Service had a sale where this 2010 John Deere 8225R with 1,075 hours on it was up for sale, and it went for $124,000, and that is the highest auction price I've seen in 27 months on an 8225R. Now, same day last Thursday, Sullivan Auctioneers had a sale in west central Illinois where this really sharp New Holland 8670 two-wheel drive with 3,425 hours on it went for $47,000. And that is the highest auction price I've seen in 46 months on a two-wheel drive 8670. So again, both tractors super clean, nice condition, strong pricing.
Still to come, Craftsman with a calling.
I'm Charles Denny. Grab a brush and a canvas. We are painting with a purpose, an event to benefit Tennessee 4-H. That story coming up on AgDay.
AgDay, brought to you by the Enlist Weed Control System. More weed control, less drift and volatility, maximum yield potential. In the Country, sponsored by Kubota. See the hardest working tractors in ag at Kubota.com or visit your local Kubota dealer today.
A great way to express your artistic side is to put paint to a canvas, regardless of your skill level. Recently, supporters of Tennessee 4-H picked up brushes and painted in a fundraiser for the state's largest youth organization. Charles Denny takes us to this colorful and charitable event.
Looking good, y'all. Maybe not fine art, but this sure is fun art. Every easel is packed at this Knox County location of Painting with a Twist, where amateur artists work on the same theme, but adding their own flair. The assignment, take red, white, and blue, follow the instructions, and create a Tennessee state flag, like a decoration on the side of a barn. Candace Elshie is a regular, paying to paint and seeing that cash help others.
Maybe half of the paintings we've done have been fundraisers, so this has been a really good experience. Ways to help out in the community, different events. It's been really cool.
Where is Candace's donation going? Here's a hint. She's a former 4-H'er, and so are many other people here with brush in hand. Each artist paid $35 to be here, and $17.50 of that goes to 4-H. The money raised will send kids to camp and also provide college scholarship money for students.
Who's glad to be here because they love Tennessee 4-H?
We're Facebook Live for 4-H Painting with a Purpose Night.
Our 4-H camps are a great deal, but many families are struggling financially to have opportunities for their young people. So this is going to help offset those costs, and we really want this to grow.
4-H leader Justin Crow got the idea for this on date night with the missus.
For my wife's birthday, I actually took her to Painting with a Twist, and we painted a firefly scene, although mine looked like fidget spinners, but that's okay. It's all about being creative and unique.
We've all got a creative mind, and it's just a matter of somebody giving you the opportunity to express your creativity.
In addition to running Painting with a Twist, Leanne Jenkins-Friels teaches art at nearby Powell High School. In her younger days, she was a 4-H'er. For Leanne, helping our state's largest youth organization was nostalgic.
So we showed cattle, we showed sheep, we did bread baking, we did the muffin contest, we did the poster contest, we did the speeches. And 4-H, it was so much an integral part of our lives.
By the end of class, we've had lots of laughs, didn't spill too much paint, and created some nice artwork to take home. In a place where creativity is encouraged, this was a creative way of helping a worthy cause. This is Charles Denny reporting.
Painting with a Twist started years ago as a way to raise money for people impacted by Hurricane Katrina. That's all the time we have this morning. I'm sure glad you tuned in. Start your day with us. From all of us here at AgDay, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Have a great day in farm country.
AgDay, brought to you by Ram Commercial, America's longest lasting heavy duty pickups.